The phone call came at 2:47 a.m. I remember the exact time because I was half asleep, the kind of sleep where you're still close enough to dreams to think they're real. But this wasn't a dream. It was the doctor's voice, measured, clinical, almost detached, telling me my daughter's test results had come back positive for an STD. I sat up, my heart hammering in my chest. "That's impossible," I said. "She's 17. The silence that followed was long enough to make me feel like the floor had disappeared beneath me. "I'm sorry, Mr. Lewis," the doctor said finally. "We'll need to talk about treatment, and—" But I wasn't listening anymore. I was already out of bed, already pulling on jeans, already trying to make sense of something that couldn't be real. My wife, Claire, stirred under the covers. "What's wrong?" "Hospital called," I said, my voice unsteady. "It's about Emily." That woke her instantly. She sat up, her hair falling around her face. "Is she okay?" "She's sick," I managed. "We need to go." In the car, the world felt like it had stopped existing outside the headlights. Claire kept asking questions, her words tumbling over each other, but I couldn't answer. I didn't know how. My daughter, the same girl who still left her sneakers by the door and laughed too loudly when something wasn't funny, was carrying something that shouldn't have touched her life. At the hospital, Emily was sitting on the bed, knees drawn up, eyes swollen. She looked smaller than I'd ever seen her. When she saw us, she turned her face away. "Sweetheart," Claire whispered, rushing to her side. "What happened?" Emily shook her head, tears spilling down her cheeks. "I'm sorry," she said over and over. "I didn't know. I didn't know." I stood there, my hands useless at my sides. "Didn't know what?" She didn't answer. The doctor came back in, speaking softly. "She said it was a man she'd been seeing for a few months," he said. "An adult." My stomach twisted. "An adult?" Claire's voice broke. "Who?" Emily's lip trembled. She looked up, and I swear I could feel the world tilt on its axis. "I can't," she whispered. "Tell us," I said. When she finally spoke the name, it didn't make sense at first. It was too close, too familiar. My brain rejected it outright. "Eric," she said. My mouth went dry. "Eric who?" She looked at me like she wished she could disappear. "Mom's friend." Claire froze beside her. The color drained from her face. "Emily, no. That's not." The sound that left me wasn't human. "Eric what?" Emily's voice was barely audible. "Eric Miller." The room seemed to collapse around us. Eric Miller, our neighbor, my co-worker, the man who came over every other Friday with beers and stories about his divorce. I turned to Claire, but she wasn't looking at me. Her eyes were fixed on the floor, her shoulders trembling. That was the moment I knew. "You knew," I said. She looked up sharply, tears streaking her cheeks. "Mark, I swear, I didn't know." "You knew," I said again, louder this time. "You've been sleeping with him, haven't you?" Her silence was the confirmation I didn't want. The world blurred. I could hear my pulse pounding in my ears. "Mark, please," she whispered. It was before anything happened with Emily. I didn't think. I stepped back, shaking my head. You didn't think the man you were sleeping with might go after your own daughter?" Emily started crying harder, covering her face. Claire reached for her, but Emily pulled away like her touch burned. "I didn't know," Claire said again, her voice breaking. "I ended it months ago. I swear to God, I never." I couldn't listen anymore. I walked out of the room before the walls closed in completely. Outside, the air was cold, the kind of cold that cuts through you. I leaned against the wall, trying to breathe. I wanted to scream, to break something, to make the pain stop. But all I could see was my daughter's face, her shame, her confusion, and Claire's, twisted with guilt. When I finally went back inside, the doctor was finishing up paperwork. Claire sat beside Emily, silent now, her hand resting on the bed but not touching her. The space between them was full of everything that had been destroyed. "Where is he?" I asked. Claire looked up. "Eric. Where is he?" She hesitated. Probably home. I left without another word. Eric's house was dark except for the kitchen light. I didn't knock. He opened the door in a t-shirt, barefoot, his expression turning from surprise to fear in an instant. "Mark, what's?" My fist hit him before he could finish. He stumbled back, blood already pooling at his lip. "You touched her," I said, my voice shaking. "You touched my daughter." He held up his hands, trembling. "Mark, I didn't know she was your kid. She said she was 18. "Don't lie," I growled. He started to cry, his voice cracking. "I made a mistake, man. I'm sorry. Please." I hit him again. And again. I don't know how long it lasted before I stopped. When I looked down, he was still breathing, but barely. I didn't feel better. I didn't feel anything at all. By the time the police arrived, I was sitting on the curb, hands shaking, blood on my knuckles. They asked me what happened. I told them the truth. In the weeks that followed, everything unraveled. Charges, court hearings, whispers from neighbors. Eric was arrested. Claire moved out. Emily wouldn't speak to either of us. But sometimes, late at night, I still hear her voice in my head, small and broken. I didn't know. And maybe that's the worst part. Because neither did I.